Chapter 15, International and Comparative Delinquency. Introduction. How do other societies handle youth justice? Why do we seldom consider other cultures? Cultural isolation, ability to affect, ethnocentrism, and globalism all relate. Culture and the disconnected. In order to understand other cultures, we must first appreciate the limitations of our own perspective. Sociological imagination. The influence of culture is difficult to pinpoint in rapidly changing societies. What components of culture determine whether behavior is rewarded or punished? Religion, gender, and development. Juvenile delinquency and juvenile justice in other countries. Comparing youth justice statistics is difficult. Why? Language issues, definitional barriers, resource constraints, political agendas, accuracy, and technology. The comparative model can still yield valuable information. International methods might better inform some U.S. juvenile policies. A nation's culture affects not only how a government responds to youth crime, but also the reasons that young people break the law. Juvenile delinquency and juvenile justice in other countries. An example, China. Major issues, rapid social change, population, over 13 billion citizens, government, one of the few remaining communist countries, religion, no official religion with little religious freedom. In China, the youth crime rate is difficult to measure because most statistics are from official agencies. The age of criminal responsibility is 16. Youths, age 14 through 16, who commit a very serious offense, bear full criminal responsibility. Usually the punishment is lighter than it would be for an offender over 16. No death penalty for youths under 18. Youths under 16 might be sent home for discipline. India, as an example, world's largest democracy. Population, nearly 1 billion. An old country subject to overpopulation and poverty. Western-style government as a British colony with British-style legal institutions. Independence in 1947. In 1986, the Juvenile Justice Act was passed to protect, care for, rehabilitate, educate, and give vocational training to delinquent and neglected children. Seeks to address family problems before employing detention. Age of criminal responsibility begins at 7. Ages 7 to 12 aren't responsible if it can be proven that the child doesn't understand the act. They do have special courts with emphasis on street children. Russia, large, diverse country undergoing rapid social change. 150 million people in 21 republics, 6 territories, and 49 provinces. Growing youth delinquency problem, youth crime stemming from social upheaval, poverty, and individual rising expectations. New criminal code specifies that youths can be afforded both punishment and rehabilitation. 3 age groups of responsibility in Russia based on age. Under 14, not criminally responsible. 14 to 16, criminally responsible for certain serious acts. 16 to 18, criminally responsible for all acts. 18 and over, classified as an adult. South Africa, independent from Britain after World War II, from apartheid to constitutional republic in 1996. Rapid social change and history of repressing Black Africans. Children were caught up in the struggle for equality. Currently, no separate laws, courts for young offenders. Laws specify that the government must consider the age of the child and that the detention is a last resort. Same judges, court personnel deal with adult and juvenile cases. Japan, declining youth population, juvenile law, welfare and rehabilitation models, mediation and arbitration preferred, calls for a crackdown on young offenders with cessation cases. Juveniles under the age of 20, under age 14, typically not held criminally responsible. Juvenile cases go to family court first. Adjudication, probation, training homes, training schools. Prosecution as an adult for very serious offenses only. England and Wales. Juvenile justice system is separate from other parts of the UK, similar to U.S. system. Age of criminal responsibility is 10. Youth court handles offenders between 10 and 17. Youth court sanctions are more restricted than those for adult courts. Courts might fine parents, and youth might receive supervision or attendance center orders. Elements of youth crime culture in England and Wales drugs, joyriding, and yob culture. Crime and Disorder Acts, reprimands and final warnings for offenders under 18, reprimands also for first-time minor offenders. Youths can be tried as adults for homicide, certain grave crimes, and an offense with another person over the age of 18. Some young offenders are held outside the prison service. Secure training centers hold young offenders up to age 17 and are run by private contractors. Local authorities secure children's homes for offenders 12 to 14, girls under 16, and boys between 15 considered to be vulnerable. Hong Kong, a special case, reverted from British to Chinese control in 1997. Wealthy country, Chinese, no racial or ethnic minorities, no ethnic ghettos, no underclass, considered very safe. Diversion programs identify and prevent youth crime. Youth crime problems might be overstated. Minimum age of criminal responsibility is 10. International victimization of children. The use of children as soldiers, as prostitutes. When does control become abuse? None of the world's governments or constitutions have a Children's Bill of Rights to balance the laws it used to create and control them. Children at war. Children are targeted as victims and used as soldiers. Children used to be excluded from war. The use of children as soldiers has become common, especially in underdeveloped countries. In Afghanistan, children as young as 5 have fought in battles. Child prostitution. Citizens from some of the world's wealthiest nations travel to other countries to have sex with children. Sex tourism brings money to poor nations. Thailand is central in the sex tourism industry. Some child prostitutes must earn money for their families. Some are sold into prostitution by their parents. That's the end of this narrated chapter PowerPoint.